and kind of like where the Lord has been showing me for the last couple of months through discipleship. Um, One of the things that God showed me as we were moving forward is there's two areas that He is just really big. And He said, what He told me was, you have to get rid of all pride. If pride is not gone, we are not going to. And from pride comes humility. And I think that was a warning he gave me. He said, for the extra, it has to go. He is really, I think over the last couple of years, what have we preached on so many times? Well, is truly knowing who God is and love. Now, as I'm just in the back over the last couple of months, and I'll get to where because Ken's going to actually jump in here soon, but as the Edge Church, I was talking about unity, locking shields, staying as one, moving forward with each other. You know, and I look at it, what God showed me, it's like he's like building an army. And as you build an army for battle, what does the army do? Would you just take an army, would you just take a bunch of people and just say, okay, here's 1,000 of you, hand them a sword, and just go and fight? No tactics, no training, no nothing. Would you do that? Over there's the enemy. That's 10,000. You know what? I'll give you this. I'll give you 100,000. Here's all the weapons. That army over there has been training for the last 20 years with the same weapons I'm giving you. But you have 100,000 men. They only have 10,000. Are you going to go? Why? It's common sense. You're get slaughtered. So as we move forward, and what God does in our lives, it's like building an army, His army. He's training us. He's equipping us. He's guiding us in order to do what? To go after what enemy? Satan and his army. Right? And the only way you get there to beat it is through training, developing, reading, praying, and so on. And the only way you're ever going to beat Satan is wiping out pride. Because why do you think he is Satan? Because he is pride. He wanted all the glory from God. He was the worship leader. I'm not trying to take your sermon. I apologize. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing it. But he wants it all for himself. So what do you think he's going to have you do? Same thing. Over the next couple of weeks, and here's why I'm saying this. Over the next, it could be 3, 4, 5 weeks. I'm not sure yet. There's a lot to cover. We are going to go through a lot of equipping and training in discipleship. We have to put pride. Because there are going to be things I'm going to talk about that I am guaranteeing it's going to be gunshots. Because I love every one of you in this church so much. I want to see it succeed. And I want to see all of you succeed. It's just that's where we're going. And a true disciple, yes, we're going to be stretched. I thought, was that you or Jim? So whoever, I think Jim said last, whatever it was. He used all introverts. I'm going to let the introverts know in here. Yeah, I'm looking at some of you, because I know some of you are introverts. You can slap me later. It's all good. Okay? He uses all of us to build disciples. Every one of us. And before we really kick off the series of something, which we are tonight, but really get into it, what was messed up is this is how God works. We always have our plans, right? But God turns around and says, "No, stop. I have a plan, and you're going to work my plan." But the problem is we get in the way. So over 2 months ago, Kayla and I, we just get in the phone. She goes, "Hey, I just want something to throw out to you." We just start talking, and hey, here's what God's sharing with me. Oh, here's what God's sharing with me, and we just start discussing things. Next thing you know, we realize we're both getting hammered by God to talk about discipleship. I'm like, are you kidding me? And the stuff that we're talking to each other about, she's in Shippensburg, I'm in Harrisburg, and there's downloads that are hitting us, and that just doesn't happen. You know, when you're sitting here thinking the same stuff, you're answering each other's questions, and you're finishing each other's sentences, God's involved. You know? And the two topics we are going to hit that actually kids would jump into, because she's as we were talking through the week, she was just vomiting all this awesome stuff out. I'm like, okay, that's it. You got to share this. You have to share this. It's a great kickoff to where we're going. And this young lady is I think 90% of her day she's in the Bible. And while she's late, I'm being dead serious. Every day she's at home. It puts me to shame how much. I mean, she is literally in the Bible and worshiping all day long. It's nonstop what God's doing. Because I'm always hesitant. Like, I'm just being straight up. Is somebody who's young is like, here you go. Here's the pulpit to preach on, and so on. And we were talking about First Timothy and stuff. But her heart, when I'm hearing some of the stuff, I'm like, this is the next generation that's coming up. And what I'm starting to see is I'm seeing the older generation and the younger generation. There's such a difference, and churches are dying everywhere. I'm like, hey, you got to share this, because from your generation's point of view, this is phenomenal stuff that God's showing you got to share this. She's going to cover, pride and humility, which is amazing. And it goes right into discipleship. I'm going to be hitting on real heavy the next couple of weeks. And I'm sure Jim's sitting here going, I'm ready to explode and go out and do this evangelism and get things rolling. But how do we start? We have to understand what true discipleship is, or we're going to go out there, right? We have to be equipped and ready to go. Because as we get released, and this man's ready to go and lead the way, brother, because we're going to follow you right there. It's going to happen. But I want to make sure we're all prepared. But I want to reiterate this. This is going to be a tough 4 to 5 weeks, because we got to clean stuff up. And when you're going through preparing for war, is it fun? We got to be open on it. We got to talk about things. We're going to wipe out pride. We have to be humble. It is. It's our boot camp. Because there is greatness that's coming in here. There's a reason that if you look at one a little bit off the sidetrack here, but why do you think all these hotels are coming? Why do you think they're making a 6-lane highway around Harrisburg? Why? In 2000, I don't know if you saw this, but in 2030, they're going to create 12 lanes. How that's possible, I don't know. I don't know if you saw that in there. Yeah, I don't even. Well, yeah, but it's been they're going through the approval of it and stuff. This region has been called, and God said, I'm going to come into this region. There's going to be an explosion that's going to come from central Pennsylvania. Look at what's going on around us. And so on. Something's going to happen. And we got to be prepared. So I just want to read this to you, and I'm going to let her jump in here. So that's where just give me like 30 seconds. I'm going to take this solid. Oh, and she's teaching like font -2. Thank you, Kelly. I love you. She's teaching me to use my phone more. We lost our printer, so I don't. Where does the word disciple come from? The word disciple comes into English using by way of the Latin disciples, meaning a learner. But given its biblical background, it should not be confused with more common English word student. A disciple is different from an apostle, which instead means messenger. As we go forward, one thing we're going to always hit on is, as a disciple, I have people that are still teaching me. I go to you guys, I go to my daughter, I go to people that influence me to make me be a better disciple. But I'm also going to make other disciples. And bottom line is this, if you just want to summarize it, are they mini-me's What is a disciple? It's who you are. It's what you're teaching. Do you want to be more like Jesus? Or do you want your disciples to be more like you? We're going to get into this heavy. Does that make sense? So we're going to hand this over to you. All right? It's all good. All right?
People that are not 18 or 24.
Hey, wait a minute. What did you say? Wow.
There's no shame.
She's nervous because it's like there's all this. We were talking. There's all this wisdom in here. She's like, yeah.
Okay, so he actually said that he was going to go down until I got to point one.
Oh,
You don't have to. It's okay.
go for it. I can.
So I actually had written down underneath, what disciple is and everything. I just want to start off by saying, to go further, a disciple is a learner, and you never stop learning. So I just wanted to put that point in there that you never stop learning, even until you get to heaven. I was just reading Heaven book by Woodford, and in that book he was saying how there's literally a building for people that want to continue to learn about creation and existence and everything. So we never stop learning. Therefore, you are being taught by someone, and you are being taught by someone, and you are teaching. And in 1 John 3:18 actually says, "Dear children, let us not love with words or speech, but within actions and truth." The reason why I wanted to put that out there is because when you are a disciple, you are creating disciples, your actions speak louder than words. Okay, so you can talk and talk and talk all the time, but all you're doing is sitting down in front of the TV, not talking to anyone and not teaching anyone. Then where are your actions? So God called us to be fishers of men, and what I love about the story is it's in Matthew 4:18, and Jesus goes to the boat. This is like a really popular story. I'm sure you all know it. But Jesus goes to Peter and Andrew, who are fishermen, and he's like, "Yeah, I want you to go back out into the water, and I want you to pull in all these fish, and I want you to just do it." They're like, "Oh, well, we already tried that, but okay, like I'll do it again." So they go out into the water, and they pull all this fish into the boat. So they're pulling this fish into the boat, and they bring it in. And Jesus then looks at them and he goes, "Great, now I want you to be fishers of men." And what I think is so significant about them pulling all these fish into the boat is how many people are they going to be discipling? Like, what is the representation of all those fish? Like, Jesus doesn't say, "Go and sell them." No, he says, "I want you to be fishers of men." So I think that's really significant. And I also want to throw out there that he says, "Be fishers of men, not fishers of selfish desires." Um, so again, we're going to ask, what kind of disciples are you making, sitting in your comfort zone and not putting in any works? It is time to get comfortable being uncomfortable. Um, so point one that I want everyone to write down, if like you have a notebook or anything, is do not let this be about you to glorify you. Let this be about God to glorify God. We are called as disciples of God to cultivate this earth and be disciples. He has called every single one of us to be learners and to teach other people below us, above us, everywhere. And when the worship of God turns into worship of self, this turns into what we call pride. This is now about me. And I wanted to throw out there Isaiah 14:12-15, where Satan was actually, like my dad had said, he was the worship leader in heaven. And he had authority over 1/3 of the angels. What happened was he wanted the glory to go to him instead of to God. And it says, "You said in your heart," and I want everyone to repeat heart for me. Heart. Okay. So he said in your heart, "I will ascend to the heavens. I will raise my throne above the stars of God. I will sit enthroned on the mountain assembly, on the utmost heights of Mount Zaphon. I will ascend above the tops of the clouds, and I will make myself like the Most High." So you can see how it switched from like, yeah, I'm the worship leader of God to now I'm the worship leader of myself. This is me. This is my glory. God doesn't have anything to do with what is going on here. Like, this is me, which is pride. And listen to God's response to this. But you are brought down to the realm of the dead, to the depths of the pit. And what is so significant about that is when you refuse to let the glory go to God, He will teach you how to be humble. He will put you down on the ground. If you refuse to say, God, this glory goes to you, this is not about me, He will say, guess what? It is about me. And He will give you the glory. And He will make sure that you know it. So, again, I'm going to ask, is your pride creating a disciple? What kind of disciple are you creating? And the opposite route looks something like this. Jesus answered, very truly I tell you, you are looking for me, not because you saw the signs I performed, but because you ate the loaves and you had your fill. Do not work for food that spoils, but for food that endures to eternal life, which the Son of Man will give you. For on him, God the Father has placed his seal of approval. Now I'm sitting here and I'm going, okay, Lord, like, why do you want me to throw this in here? Like, I'm not really understanding. And I'm just going to repeat it. Very truly, I tell you, you are looking for me, not because you saw the signs I performed. So that's saying to me, like, I'm looking for God, not because of how much he's done for me, but you're looking for me because you've had your fill. So am I looking for God so that way he can continue to fill me? Or like, am I just looking for God because I'm like, I want you to continue to show me where to go? And he says, do not work for food that spoils, but for food that endures to eternal life. So I'm looking for something because I want to be fulfilled, or am I looking for something because I want God to fulfill me? When you begin to chase after God for the sacrifice rather than for the benefits, the world will take notice. And to put that to other words, because that may not be understood very well, I'm going to say when you begin to chase after God for the give, yeah, when you begin to chase after God for the give instead of the get, the world will take notice of that. And the world will go, wow, there is something really different about that person. They're sacrificing everything. They're giving everything to every single person around them. Like, where are they getting this happiness from? Like, I really want to know. Like, they literally are sitting on a bed with no sheets on it. And they only have 3 pairs of clothes in their closet. But their joy is beyond any joy I've ever seen. Where are they getting this? Like, I want what this person has. And I think that's a lot more fulfilling than sitting there looking at someone who owns 3 Maseratis. I don't know about you, but I would rather be happy than be rich. So I'm actually going to do a little demonstration really quick. And so I know this is kind of weird, but imagine that these cups are people, okay? So this cup is a person. Let's say that they're a pastor in Seattle. I don't know. All right. And this cup is a person that they're pastor here. I don't know. All right. And each of these cups represent the people that they are pouring into. All right. And behind, let's pretend that they're being poured into also, like from people behind them. I don't have that many cups, but we'll pretend. So they are pouring into these people. And I just want to say here that these people can be literally anyone that is in front of your life. So it can be your coworkers, it can be your spouse, it can be your children, it could be your church. Any congregation that you are a part of is someone that you are discipling to.
Ready?
Okay, thank you. All right. And so this water represents God. Okay? So these 2 people, the one in Seattle and the one here, they are reading their Bible every day. No, it's okay. So they are reading the Bible every day. They are worshiping every day. are in the Word. They're really going after it. They're like, man, God, I want you more of me. God, I want more of you. I want more of you. So they go to work. All right. So they're pouring into people. All right. Let's say that they go to the movies with a couple of friends. I don't know. They go to a Bible study. All right. They go for a car ride. And this person does the same thing. They're meeting people for lunch. They're going to work. They're going to dinner. They're meeting people on Tuesday. All right. So they're being listened to. They go home and they're like, all right, Lord, I poured into so many people today. I need you to pour into me again. I need you because I cannot continue to pour into people without your love. So their cups are full. See that? Their cups are full. But I'm gonna pause for a second. John 5:21. Okay. So now this is First John 1:15. Sorry. It says, "Do not love the world or anything in the world. If anyone loves the world, the love for the Father is not in them." I'm going to pause here because what is the love for the world? Love for the world is anything that is not God. So that means shoes. That means clothes. This means money. This means cars. This is any kind of finances that you have. This is TV. This is movies. This is literally anything that takes your heart away from the focus of God is an idol of this world. And like I'll just share a little bit of my own stories that I am known like at school. It's like, oh, here comes Kaylee, the holy roller. Like she's got the Bible in her right hand and she's got worship music in her left. And I'll tell you that the reason why I do that is because I am so easily swayed left or right by what is going on around me. So any time that my heart is taken away from God, I am unable to be poured into and I'm unable to pour into other people. And this is very important. So I'm going to continue to say the verse. It says, "For everything in the world, the lust of your flesh, the lust of your eyes, and the pride of your life, comes not from the Father, but from the world. The world and its desires pass away, but whoever does the will of God lives forever." Okay? And First John 5:21, the reason why I had you guys emphasize heart earlier in Isaiah is because First John, it says, "Dear children, keep away from anything that might take God's place in your heart." It always starts here. It always starts here. I don't think that it's any kind of coincidence that God was angry with Satan because he said in his heart. Okay, it doesn't always have to be verbal. It doesn't always have to be an action. It always starts here. So point two that I want everyone to write down is the opposite of pride is humility. So, okay. So I'm going to show you what happens whenever your heart gets inclined to vomit. All right. So this person had a very, very long day. All right. They came home. They didn't really feel like pouring into anyone because they were just so tired. They were freaking out. They're like, man, I can't really do this. Like, Lord, I know that I'm tired and I know that the Bible says I'm supposed to find rest and find peace in you. But you know what? I'm just going to watch TV instead. All right? They wake up and they're like, oh man, I know that I usually wake up an hour before I'm supposed to go to work or an hour before I'm supposed to go to school to spend some time with you to be prepared for the day. But I'm just so stressed and I'm just so tired. I'm going to go back to sleep. Right? The next day, they get back from work and they're like, oh man, I know that I haven't prayed in a little bit, but my friends from college called me and they really want to go to a club. So I think that I'm going to go. Yeah, I really don't think that I'm going to pray tonight because I just really, really miss my friends. And I know that I need to spend time with you, but Lord, like, I really just don't feel like it. And let's be honest, we've all been there. So they go and they spend time with their friends. But then, as you notice, this person continued to spend time with God. Right? And this person is continuing to get poured into by God. And this person is continuing to be fed by God. But this person spent a week away from God, and they now have to go, and they have to pour into people the next day. And what happens is you're being fed and you're being discipled by someone who is not being discipled by God anymore. Someone who is not being taught by God. And this person, on the other hand, is continuing to get fed. They're continuing to pray, they're continuing to worship, they're continuing to be on the floor, on their faces, in humility. Saying, God, I don't want this glory to go to me. I want all this glory to go to you. And the reason why I'm using pride for this part is because it is very prideful for you to say, I don't feel like spending time with you, whenever he is the one who put breath in your lungs. All right? So the opposite of pride is humility. And what does God ask us to do? He asks us to humble ourselves. It says in Matthew 23:12, but those who exalt themselves will be humbled, and those who humble themselves will be exalted. So although this person is like, oh yeah, I still feel like I'm on the top of the world, I'm still able to pour into people, they are full of this pride, and they're like, this is turning into me. This is my ministry. This is my church. This person over here, this person's like, man, God, you are so good to me. You have given me so much. So then God gives them more. And God continues to give them more people to pour into. But what's going to happen over here? They're going to get food. God's going to go, you did not give me any of the glory, and you wanted it all for yourself. You're going to kick them in the head, right? um, so this is creating a disciple when you humbly say, God, all of this glory that you have so graciously given me, I'm going to give back to you. And I'm just going to remind you what happened to Satan when he refused to humble himself. It says in Isaiah 14:11, all the pomp has been brought down to the grave, along with the noise of your harps, and maggots are spread out beneath you, and worms cover you. And like that's not to put fear in anyone's heart. That's not to say like, oh my gosh, like if I don't read my Bible for one day, like God's gonna hate me. No, God is a gracious God. He's not gonna hate you. But I am gonna say like, be careful how much you allow your pride to get in the way of God's grace that He has for you. Be careful of how much you allow your own selfish desires to get in the way of where God wants to take you. And it was really cool because one day we were all talking in singles ministry, and people are like, God has all these plans, and like He knows what's going to happen, and so if He knows what's going to happen, why is He disappointed? I just remember saying, and I just really feel like I should share it now, is that like, if God wouldn't allow you to go into deep places of despair, then how would you be desperate to reach out to Him? You wouldn't, because you would be self-reliant. And so it's not that God is angry. He gets disappointed because He's like, it took you 4 years to get you to a place where you were absolutely infatuated with me. And you went, you dated this person, and it took you 4 years for you to get astray from me. And now it's going to take you 8 more years to get back to this place of And I think that's why God gives discipline, because when we do not allow Him to humble our hearts and say, like, Lord, you are all I need, how far is He going to have to take us to get back to that place? And I left point 3 open for my gap for the next few weeks. I said for the next few weeks. But the last thing that I wanted to leave off with is point 3. You can create 2 types of disciples: the humble or the
And and what she was hitting as we were talking through these things I'm going to be covering in the next 4 or 5 weeks is types of discipleship. And I have some fun stuff. I was actually going to have, I talked to try to get Kaylee or Bobby to come. I was going to buy like the pens and things like this to have them wear and kind of dress them up. All that. I truly was pretty bad. And kids like, I'm not doing it. I was like, I will. And stuff. But anyway, there's but I'm going to go down the road of the types of disciples. But basically, where with this analogy, as we were talking through this, is what are we feeding into people? What kind of disciples are we making? If I have junk in my life and I'm not taking care of my junk, don't you think that junk is spilling into the people inside? So when you're dirty, and you know what? I can still get fed by God, but I can still be dark inside because I keep doing it. You can go and read the Bible. You can go and pray. But if you're sitting here each and every day watching pornography, you're sitting here each and every day still sinning. I can still read the Bible. I can still get my knees to pray. What are you still pouring in? Look, we are all sinners. There's not a single person that's walking in perfection. Not one of us. There's nobody. There's only one that ever came, and that's Jesus. And when she was telling me this, I'm like, that's an extremely good analogy because what am I pouring in? Even being up here, what am I pouring in all over? What is we pouring in? What are we pouring in each other? You know, there is a major war right now, every day, every second of the day. And the thing that probably drives me the craziest is where I can sit there and watch on TV tens of thousands of Muslims together, 7 times a day, whatever times a day, getting down, praying, going after their God, which is Satan, every day in United. But yet you can't even get Christians united because we disagree over one stupid thing. And it's the division within churches, the division within, oh, well, Catholic or Methodist or this. I'm like, it has to stop. Or we're never, I mean, think about it. No wonder our lives are getting each and every day. And what we need to do is get church. This is where we work together. We have to ask each other to help us. We have to train each other in the tough boot camp ways. You know, here's one thing. The Holy Spirit, I won't get into this later, never interrupts you. I'm going to let you take that, pray about that, and ask yourself that. So I'm going to stop right here. Go ask God what I mean by that. Go ask God what I mean by that. You know? Because we're going to stay united. What do you think the enemy's going to do? He's going to come in because he says, I see a church that's interlocking shields. I see a church that's raising up people that are going to glorify God's name. I'm seeing this church that every time they pour, this is all I see them do. Pour and pour and pour. Now I'm not going to do this because this is not our place. I'll be pouring over because we want to get to the point where no matter what we're doing, is it's pouring out of us. And guess what? When it starts pouring out of you because you're going after it, when it pours out of you and it's running down here, that's when your shadow heals you. Because you're so overwhelmed by the glory of God. But the only way you get there is humbleness. And the only way we're going to get there is humbling ourselves. And the only way we're going to not get there is right here. pride will destroy us. And it's going to wipe us out. The second thing with pride that we're going to hit different things next week and the week after is fear. I am scared to death. Don't call on my name. Come on. Who sat in the back of the classroom? Or so on. Is there a reason any of you sat in the back of the class? Or when there's somebody, a teacher, Beth, you probably know this one. You probably get this all the time. Is you have the students out there and say, okay, now we're going to ask a question. You get this? And you're like, what? We all do it, right? Why is it? And then you know the teacher. You go and give that eye contact. You're like, oh, Ricky. You're like, oh crap. Right? You don't want to be called on. Man, we have to be teachable. Okay? Every one of us has to be teachable. And the point I'm getting to here is we're going to poke each other. God's going to use us to goad each other to make us stronger. Fearless. That's right. That's what it is. We are going to be fearless. And when we knock that out like you did, were you not scared at first? Now you have a Muslim man who wants to be. The fear that we have. Why fear what God has given you? You know what I think it is? I think when we walk in that fear, I don't think we're confident enough to know who's in us. And that's not me being mean. I'm not saying that to be mean. I think that's what it comes down to. Is we're scared. We don't understand what's in us. When you truly understand that God created each and every one of us to be disciples, all of us, each and every one of us to share the gospel. Let me just put it this way. There's only one reason we're all here. There's only one reason. God created us to glorify Him, to worship Him. Right or wrong? When you get that, we're not here to be the best football star, baseball star, the best musician. That is not why we were created to be that. Don't hear what I'm not saying. God has given you gifts to do that. To do what? To glorify Him. Are we with that? So when we know who we are, we're only here for one reason, and that's for God. Because if we can't get that now, and we don't want to glorify God and give Him all the time now, then why do you want to go to heaven? Because that's all you're going to be doing. Cool. Wow. That's a tough one, isn't it? I don't want to pray and spend time every day with you, but yet I want in your kingdom with you every day. Told you, gloves are off, right? Think about that. Pathway, this is not a fear thing. I'm not throwing fear at people here. I'm speaking truth. Pathway to heaven is what? Very narrow. Pathway to hell is what? Very wide. It's not hard to get to heaven. It's accepting Jesus Christ, your Savior, and going after Him and falling in love with Him. You know? When you fall in love with somebody, like you do with your family, you do anything for your kids. You die for them. What He did for us. So, do you have anything else? I just want to pray. So we're going to get real meaty in the next couple of weeks. We're going to break some things down. We're going to break fear. We're going to go after fear. I'm going to give different examples of what type of disciples. What are we? What kind of disciples are we? We're going to hit this stuff real heavy in the next couple of weeks. But we're going to have fun with it. Okay? Yes, there'll be a lot of note taking. I can guarantee you that one. Hopefully, I've done it before. Probably some of the stuff I'm going to have to put on paper for you to give you the notes I've created and stuff and so on. So, anyway, Lord Jesus, we just thank you so much for just